You know what it is. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Get established. Let's go.
Welcome to Get Established Show Live, where we all about awareness and support of our community and beyond. My name's Shine, along with Shelton E. Jones. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification for our up and coming shows. And there will be a link provided in the chat. You all can join the conversation and chat if you like. E. Jones, what up, bro?
What's going on, fellas? How was y'all weekend, man?
We were fine, man. Everything was jumping other than the snow. It was good.
Oh
Straight,
yeah, I
straight.
forgot. The snow was crazy in VA.
Yeah, we got like
38.
some, yeah, like some good inches, 10, 12, certain
Yeah,
places,
about a
8,
foot. About a
yeah,
foot over
foot.
these parts here.
Yeah, I
Yeah, we
can't say
got,
that. I can't say that I saw any of that, sir.
Lucky,
yeah,
lucky. Lucky, lucky. You know,
Yeah,
that
man.
GA weather.
Well, I
yeah,
mean,
the
it was
GA weather.
cold here. I will say that this is the first day we've had that was warm in hot Atlanta, but yeah, we ain't had to deal with no snow.
That's what's up. But y'all check out that thing. They talking about they might be giving us a $5,000 stimulus check.
Yeah, I seen that though.
Man,
Like I said, man, the way we get it on the back end, I'd rather them go ahead on and keep that, man, because I don't want to have to pay no higher, rent, mortgage, and bills or whatever. I ain't trying to see all that.
well, you already know they're gonna get it on the back end, like Raymond said. With that being said, man, that segue right into our show, the rise and fall of black finances and wealth, featuring the architect of Black Wall Street, O.W. Gurley. Let's jump right into it, man. Let's jump right into it.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, let me ask you this: who was O.W. Gurley?
Oh, W. Gurley was a pioneer who had a vision to build a city, and it was Black Wall Street. He took a lot of his information, his stuff, and he made Black Wall Street. It's like he had this vision of doing something. But is this my mic that's doing that? Not to be cutting it off though, but do y'all hear an echo?
Yeah, we hear Echo.
Yeah. We do hear a little bit of extra conversation.
Huh?
Back, back conversation. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, but like I was saying, can you hear me now?
We can hear
Yeah,
you,
we hear
bro.
you fine now. There we go.
All right, check it out. What I was saying, O.W. Gurley was a pioneer who put together a vision that he had to create a city. And what he did was go to the Green District of Mississippi, and he talked to a lot of different people. And what he did was get everybody that had the mindset he had to build up this type of city. So people followed him back because he was in Tulsa. He had bought all his land, like 40 acres and everything. And what he did was create this city by investing in other black people. So when he found the people who had the same type mind frame he had, who had the dream to build something and be an entrepreneur, they followed him, and each one of them opened up a business. He also helped them finance some of the businesses to build. So now his vision came alive because he invested in other black people, and these black people came together and became entrepreneurs, and they built a whole big city and a community. And this was called Black Wall Street. But it all started with Gurley in the vision and in investing in each, other black people to create a situation like this. And it's phenomenal when you go back and look up Gurley and the things he did.
Ooh, imagine, just imagine if we had that same thing going on right now, and if we had that same mentality in our community today. Raymond, let me ask you this. What do you think that's keeping us from doing something like that in today's time?
I think it's the mentality that was given to us from the beginning, centuries ago, where it's like fear, divide, and separate, and that mentality carries on to today because we all we start a business or something like that. no one is willing to invest or support that business because we're all thinking that, hey, this person is doing this, so I don't want to involve myself in it because I got to do my own thing. I got to get my own thing going or whatever because I was taught as a child, you know, when I grow up, you got to have your own. You got to do your own thing, and that's why we all have that mentality of, okay, I got to get mine. I got to do mine for me and mine.
But we got to get away from that me mentality. I understand that is a learned behavior, but at some point we got to turn this around. We got to change this thing up. We need and we need some answers on how to do that. How to get back to thinking like O.W. Gurley. I think as a community we're lost. Other communities are able to do things in that form. Why can't we get back to that? I mean, it's just crazy. So let me ask you this, Chris. What actually happened to Black Wall Street? Why don't we have something like that in Tulsa today?
I think it's the fear, the fear of people uniting to do things. People always ask, why can't we get back to Black Wall Street? First of all, I think we have to have a lot of people who have the mindset to want to invest in black people like Gurley did, to want to help people, not to be about I got this and I got this. And the sad thing about it, it's so many cats I know they got potentials and business skills even around this area and everywhere I go that could be girlies, that could invest in other black people, who could build up the cities, who could invest into, be entrepreneurs and build people to be entrepreneurs and behind themselves to make things like that happen. But what happened is when they bombed the place, because they took planes and flew down and dropped bombs. But it all started with this incident with somebody was supposed to be in the elevator. It was allegedly that the person touched this girl, this white girl, and it all escalated from that to the demise of Black Wall Street. But I feel like, even though they try to stand their ground and protect that individual, the news got across, and in them times, the Jim Crow was coming and all this type stuff. It caused a effect that a lot of people who was, white at that time came down to Tulsa, and they went in, to destroy and burn down a lot of things. But I feel like people can make another Tulsa if they want to invest in each other instead of being for self, like Raymond was saying. Yeah, I got to get mines, I got to get mines, and everybody is about getting, but not building, or giving back to the community. It's all about self right now, and it's like they love, somebody else's wealth, but they don't love their self. Because I feel like we could build up our own community if we invest in ourselves.
What's crazy? It's always an isolated incident. We can look back to different things that happened throughout history, whether it's Emmett Till, whether it's Black Wall Street, whether it's Rosewood. It's always an isolated incident. And it's crazy to me that we let an isolated incident stop us from moving forward. And I understand that we feel like we can't get anything done because of outside forces, but we have to unite and show a united front. I think a lot of things have happened in our community that have separated us, but I think we really need to find it within our community to come together. I see a lot of that happening now with the DEI initiatives that are being taken away from a lot of businesses, and we see right now where black people are actually standing up and saying no, we deserve better. But how far do we think that that's going to go just by boycotting businesses? We have to do more than that. We have to show up. We have to show up for our communities, for our children, for our future, to make a difference. How can we make sure that we don't take a step back right now and move forward?
I feel like from one incident, we got to get over things that don't destroy us. We got to get stronger. A lot of times, we are scared to do things because of fear. And I think the only thing in failure is not even trying. If you try, I feel like you succeeded to do something great. Only not trying and giving up makes you a failure in my eyesight. Not even if you didn't even accomplish, but even just trying. Most people won't even take the initiative to even try. And I think if we, like I say, man, as so many people out here can cook, so many people out here can do all type things. They could design. There's so many people out here could create clothes. There's so many people out here that got gifts. And I think it shouldn't be that we are scared to support black businesses. We shouldn't be scared to when you hear somebody that's trying to do something. And I want to say this right here because, like me, I do have a like a small business doing stuff. The biggest, I think, effect to me is when you're trying to be an entrepreneur doing something and being that you're black. A lot of people always try to get a lookout instead of investing in that black person. They always want a discount. But it's funny when it comes to you paying your cable bill, you don't go to the cable man looking for a discount. You don't go to the electric people trying to get a discount. You don't go to all these other people. Your car, if you got a car payment, they set it at a certain pace, you pay it. You don't go to the landlord trying to get a discount. You pay them straight money. But when it's somebody who's small trying to come up, you always trying to ask them, oh man, can I get a discount? How can their business succeed if you're not willing to invest in them and giving them straight money like you give all these other corporations and people straight money?
I mean,
All right.
I totally agree with you. Go ahead, Raymond.
I was going to touch back on the question you were talking about what led to the what happened with the town. I think like I said, of course the incident that occurred, but once after that, and the some of the things that they like after the riots and everything, they were allowed to come back into some of them that did want to come back were allowed to come back, but as the years went on, things like gentrification and them putting a highway throughout the town was what led to the town continually going down into where it is today. Just it's just another area where black people were.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, I know we talked about the Tulsa race massacre in 1921. We just finished touching on that briefly. And I know you were talking about fear, Chris. Do you think the incident that happened in Tulsa created fear today? Or do you think we're dealing with fear from other things today as far as uniting and creating something like this?
I think the fear still exists today because anything we have been going through is trauma. I think a lot of past situations in the past has trauma from the seeds, from the previous our ancestors and people who lived in it, our great great grandparents. We've been having hard times since anything we create. If you just look at people who are successful today, and I have heard many successful artists want to try to invest, into their community, into the ghetto. It's somebody always trying to stop them. It's like every time we do something, somebody comes along and destroy it. It's not coincidental that we've been destroyed with Black Wall Street. We've been destroyed in Rosewood. We've been destroyed in so many things in history. It's because somebody don't want us to have to invest our money because this is something big that a lot of people don't even know and don't even realize. During Tulsa time and Black Wall Street, it was the Great Depression. And a lot of other people was having Great Depression and going through that. But Tulsa wasn't. Black people was investing into their cities, and it was a bunch of multimillionaires. We wasn't feeling the Great Depression because we was doing stuff with our money, but other people was feeling the depression. So during the Great Depression, if you just look at the time in the area, you will see that black people were thriving. So I think it could be jealousy that they went through and destroyed and did what they did and burned down Tulsa. But at the same token, some of us, I feel like, scared to get back to that level because every time we try to do something in a group or a big Y with a bunch of people, it seems like somebody come through and sabotage it and try to tear it down. They don't
I'm
want us to
glad you
proceed in a big group doing anything.
I'm glad you made that point, Chilla. You're right. During the Great Depression, we did thrive. And you got to understand, um, we weren't allowed to be a part of the banking system. So, us as a black community, we had money. We kept our money in house. So when these things happened, we were able to come together and we were able to put our money to work. And Black Wall Street was a great example of that. All I'm saying is now, how do we get back to that? Because we are allowed to be a part of the banking system in America. So how do we put our black dollars to work?
All right. Well, one of the ways is just getting back to that, trying to fund and support our black businesses, our fellow brothers and their black businesses. That would be one of the better ways to start to encouraging one another to show them that, hey, we're all here together. We're all trying to create something, to have something, and build something that'll last for generation to generation, because one of the things that we need to do is build on that one thing, is to have something that will last for our children.
That's great. I totally agree. Last for our children because we have to set an example for them. You know, the thing is, we always learn from the elders, and at this point, we're the older generation showing the youth what way, what route to go. Um, how can we actually? What tools can we use to actually rebuild the community, though, Chris?
Tools we can is we can learn trades. We can learn trades of how to build. We can come together and show these kids, and we can teach them how to do culture as well as like tilling the ground and how to build gardens, how to do things to be independent on ourselves. So we don't have to keep depending on somebody else. We don't have to go to the grocery stores. We need to get back control of doing things ourselves. I mean, if we even have something crazy happen tomorrow and all the stores shut down and everything, the electric shut down and the grid goes off the grid. What are we gonna do? I mean, can people go out here and hunt? Can people start a fire? Can people build shelter? Can people go out here and build a garden? Do these young people in this day and age? Because I grew up with a granddad, and I was fortunate, like I said, me and you, Derek, we had a garden, so I had to tilt the land. I know how to do. I know how to fish. I know how to do certain things. But how these young children today, do they know how to survive? I mean, if push kind of shove, if anything destroyed, we go to war and tanks is over here and things are going on just like Tulsa. Can they rebuild and survive? Or is it going to be chaos and everybody out here running around like wild, trying to just kill each other for whatever little scraps they can get?
Well, that starts in the
We got to
household.
take control back of our lives.
Absolutely. That starts in the household. And we as parents, we have to do a better job of preparing our kids. Not just about playing video games, not just about
Right.
playing sports, not worried about what's going on social media, but we got to get back to doing things that benefit our community. Is it best that we build existing communities or start fresh by creating new cities?
I think it should be a mixture of both, because, you know, one of the things is, okay, well, with with the economy and what things are going on now, it's more prevalent than ever that we those that are in positions that have the money to purchase land, that would be one of the things that would help in providing those new cities. Of course, just purchasing land. And for the people that are in these existing communities, it's like, hey, just try to, or seek to come together and bring whatever resources you all have together and build something. I mean, because I think the best thing that we can do is to come together and try to work together to bring something about. I mean, it's not hard, if, especially if we all think that, as a people, we all want to do something to better ourselves or to position ourselves. So why not have the desire to come together and do something that'll benefit one another?
That's dope, Raymond. I like what you were saying. I want to talk about that anyway. The one thing that I appreciate about O.W. Gurley, he purchased a large mass of land. And not only did he purchase that, he shared that with his community to help them thrive. Now, my thing is, how do we ensure that our community gets back to that thought process?
It's just
I
it's
feel like, go ahead, Raymond.
it's just about dispelling the mentalities that we have of that, the we can't have this, we can't do this, or we're being held back. If we can eliminate that mindset out of our heads and start have forward thinking and really be in the mindset of, okay, well, hey, I'm going to do what I can, and if I can, convince this other person to come in with me, then it's like, hey, you got support because you got one person, and that's like, okay, hey, look, I'm here, I got you. And if two people can come together and really decide, hey, I want something, then it's nothing you can't have or nothing you can't start.
You Gary say something, Chilla?
Yeah, I mean, I like it what Raymond just said. If two people come together, I think it starts with a vision. I mean, all us have dreams, and creating your dreams or moving forward to make your dreams come true. That's what Gurley had. He had a dream. He had a dream. He saw something, and he went out and searched for the right people who had the same dream and ambition to do the same thing because they didn't want to be controlled. They wanted to have their freedom. So all of them joined together and they created something wonderful that's in history called Black Wall Street. They created a vivant city when the Great Depression was in effect, and it didn't affect them. I don't think, and if people just really read and meditated on the story about Gurley and how he thought, I don't think they'd be so stressed about what other people are doing in the country. Because I don't think that day and time they cared what the president was doing. It was all about what they was trying to do. And I mean, we so caught up with what somebody else is doing that we lose sight of what we should be doing. We always talk about and I think me and Raymond had this conversation yesterday. I just want to touch on it. We were saying that we are always in debt. We in a deficit. We's in $1 trillion. But like I told him, our ancestors didn't create this debt. We didn't never have this money. They didn't. We didn't have the decision. It's not our debt. It's their debt. They the ones created this. And I think if we invested in ourselves and build up our own community, we ain't got to worry about what somebody else is screwing up. Because if I feel like I should be accountable for what I screw up. But if our ancestors, my great great granddaddy, and all our great great granddaddies didn't screw this money up, and somebody else screwing it up, why is we paying their debt? But they're not accountable for their debt, but they making the decisions and putting us in greater more debt. And I don't think Black Wall Street was built on somebody else's debt. It was built on them creating their own thing and having their own freedom, and they was doing their own, investing their own money in their own community, and they were thriving.
I can appreciate that because you're right. They always include us when it benefits them. But if it doesn't benefit them, then we're not included. And that's crazy how we're accepted in some things that the country does, but not accepted in other things that take place. And then when we thrive on our own, it's always something put in place to set us back. That's big. That is real big. Let's talk about some of the things that were going on in Black Wall Street. What were some of the businesses that existed on Black Wall Street?
All right, I'm gonna say that they, well, first Gurley put out a um, a boarding house so that all the people that were coming from the south, because there was a big migration that that people would come from the south because initially what brought people out here was or brought people out to Oklahoma was the oil rush. It was a lot of oil that was being found on the land. So people decided to rush out there because it was like literally having a land claim and with a shot fire, everybody out whatever and claimed the land. So when Gurley came, that's when he got his plot or whatever. And he opened that boarding house so that once that boarding house opened, people that were coming in would have a place to stay. So when they were trying to start and build themselves up, they would have some place to stay in order to fluctuate to fund that, bring that money in, and from
And
then,
let me
go ahead.
address that real quick, Raymond. Gurley provided land. He provided house and board. What do you think he asked for in return?
That's an interesting question. I assume that he said, "Hey, look, just go out here and build a business utopia that we all can share and build in because you know that the at the time the white folk wasn't really giving you anything because especially
Well,
the
they
whole
didn't have anything to
mentality.
give. According to them going through the Great Depression, they didn't really have anything to give. Not that they would have gave us anything.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, but they had built cities in and around Tulsa as well, so that they had whatever they had, but it's like it was that same Southern separatist mentality that they brought to that area, and when they brought that, they brought around the racism and the jealousies because I think what a good thing, an interesting thing about it was all most of the businesses that were in that area. I'm talking about Greenwood, Tulsa, where Gurley
The
found.
Greenwood District.
All the businesses were aligned in that divided, separate area where they were saying, "Hey, look, all the blacks, y'all be on this side. We're gonna be on this side." But all the businesses were built along that divide, and you know why that was? Some of the whites came over and trickled and put some of that little money into those businesses they did. And the interesting thing was they kept that money that they were bringing in as well as the money that they had amongst themselves within the community.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I will say that the interesting thing about Black Wall Street is we had our own banking system. We Other blacks came in and they were real estate owners, barbershops, grocery stores. It was a city, so they were thriving and they had their own businesses. You know, the thing is, we have these several black areas in the United States now, and the interesting thing is, and I've always talked about this, when we have our own areas, we allow people outside our community to come in and conduct business. Now, I'm not saying something's wrong with that, but if you look at it as a whole, if we tried to go into a community and conduct business, we wouldn't be accepted. And I give you a prime example. If there was an Asian community and we went in that community and we tried to sell Chinese food, and as a black Chinese, no, seriously, as a black Chinese owned restaurant, do you think we would thrive? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Or
It'll
say
be
we went
interesting.
into a Hispanic community and we tried to sell Hispanic food, it wouldn't happen. Or we open a black barbershop in a Hispanic community. Now, we may get some business, true indeed, at a barbershop
Be nice on the cuts.
because we're nice on the cuts. But if we had actually women doing hair and nails and things of that sort, do you think we would really survive in other communities? And I say
I
that to
don't.
say that we need to pay attention to this and we need to take notes on how communities like that support their own. Go ahead, Chris.
I don't think we will survive. You made a violent point on a lot of things because we welcome anybody in our community. We support every other foreigner's business in our community. Support the Chinese restaurant. We support the Chinese hair. We support the nail salons with the Koreans. We support all of any other foreign people's stores. We support all that. So all our money never goes back into the black community. It always goes to somebody else's community. They always bleed us dry of our money, and we never had nothing to show for it. I mean, it's sickening if you pay for something, and at the end of the day, all the foreigners got something to show for their money, but the black people don't have no businesses or nothing to show for this. We don't have our own black towns or nothing. We don't have our black cities. We don't have our black businesses because we too busy fronting and taking care of other people's. And they know how to come in because they target, like you say. If I was to go to China and open a black Chinese restaurant, I probably 9 times out of 10 wouldn't get supported. But they come right in our neighborhood, and matter of fact, they invest in our neighborhoods. I don't see when these soul restaurants or all these black restaurants. I don't see a lot of Chinese people in there buying our food. I don't see a lot of different stuff. I don't see Chinese people coming in our barber shops. I don't see Chinese people going into African places. And I'm not just calling out any race. I'm just trying to tell you to pay attention. And what you saying, we probably wouldn't thrive somewhere else. But people do thrive with us. And it's no different than when pilgrims came over here and the natives, the Indians, basically said, hey, it's all this land around here. It's land. We always sharing. We always helping other people. But when we go, they come over here. They're not trying to help us, and that's wild. And the reason we need to try to get back to Black Wall Street. It was a time when I moved to Atlanta, and the reason I did like Atlanta in the early '90s is because when I went down there, it seemed like all the black people was like Tulsa, helping all the black people, investing in black people. They were sending us to black businesses, black barber shops, black everything. And today, I think all over United States, we need to stop the violence. We need to start killing each other. Because in actuality, all us some line down the line are related. We got self-hate. We murdering our family members. 9 times out of 10, we were separated and shifted. We need to get together and start loving each other and investing back in each other and trying to build up each other instead of stop trying to destroy each other. Because we in a mode right now, it's like destroy, see and destroy. We got to start destroying. If we want Black Wall Street got back together, we got to unite. We got to put all this crazy foolishness away and start hating on each other. Be glad somebody's successful and try to work at being successful yourself.
The key word that you said, be glad that somebody's successful. There has been this weapon created in the black community, the weapon called jealousy. And I'm not sure how that came about and became so strong in our community, but it has. And it's crazy that we allow that to steer us from making sure that we support those that are doing positive things in the community. Let me ask you this. What do you think Black Wall Street taught us and continues to teach us?
I think for one thing, it teaches us that that in spite of what is being said about us by other races outside of us, that we can come together and do something. We can build something. We can use the skills that we develop to create. And and let's be honest, everyone everyone knows that we as a race of people are very creative in everything we do. We bring character, we bring a charisma, and we bring a resilience in whatever we do. So it's nothing for us to do something and make that, if not the best thing that is put together by any other race. And
When I look
that's
at
not to be you know um, trying to be arrogant. It's just that our determination creates that desire to do the best we can and produce what we produce.
when I look at this and what Black Street taught me, uh, Black Wall Street anyway, it taught me that we was greatness. It taught me the things that we came from. We had the intelligence in a time when racism was at the highest pinnacle that we could be entrepreneurs and millionaires. That Gurley had a vision and he went out and seeked and his vision came reality. And I mean, today it's so many dudes that got phenomenal money, but they're not trying to be Gurley. They're not trying to invest back in other people building up, other entrepreneurs or even building a city. It's because they just whatever their deal is and whatever they do, that's their business. But define a group of people who want to help the community, just like us on this podcast, and it's other people I'm meeting on a regular basis now that's doing things, that's trying to do things in the community. And I mean, they the type people I'm seeking for. I'm seeking for people who just think like me and like us, who want to really help the community and not destroy the community. There's so much negativity out here, and that's all we program through music, through the media, through TV. It's nothing to look forward to. We have no strong leaders. We have nobody who's want to stand up and speak. And even if you try to be a true speaker today, man, it seems like some people look at you a hater. You hating because you, and it's not even that you're hating. It's just that you care for some things sometimes that you are trying to just help people. A lot of people, some people don't even want to help. But I feel like, man, we can get back to Black Wall Street. It's just that we just got to make some changes and make some sacrifices. You ain't got nothing to lose because right now we got a lot of foolery going on in the White House, and people are so terrified of what he's getting ready to do. Enjoy your life. Life too short to be worrying about the foolishness they doing. Like I say, if you want to do something, build what you want to do, and work on building our own communities and making our communities good. Doing
Let me
getting back to Black Wall Street.
let me ask you this: do you think that celebrities have a responsibility to help fund some of these things that we need in our community as far as being able to get back to our own? Do you think, because we do support our black celebrities, let's be honest, across the board we support them. And I'm not saying that I'm trying to control their money and what they do with their dollars, but do you think there is some responsibility that lies there?
Yeah, I do. I mean, cause let's be honest. As far as the younger generation, they buy the music that is produced out here. Um, as far as actors, you know, if we're subscribing to a lot of these these streaming services, and of course a portion of that money. I'm not going to say that I know everything in regards to what they're getting in regards to streams or whatnot, but I know some of the things that we're our money that goes into those streaming services may pay a portion of their income as well. So, I mean, I don't think it should be an issue of them being willing to give back, because especially think about it like this: if they may charge to make an appearance at, say, your business or something like that, then that's a exchange in you know in looking out for one another and helping one another. So if you're building someone's business up by just appearing, you're doing a world of good for the value of that business, so it'll grow.
That is true, man. That's true. You think about situations like a lot of our black female celebrities, the hair industry. Uh, if you we had a situation where instead of going to Asians to get hair, we could get we had a situation where we had, and we do have situations like that where we have black owned places where women can get hair. Imagine what would happen if, let's say, Beyonce showed up to the grand opening. That would change the trajectory of that business.
Exactly.
That is crazy. And you look at older businesses where black businesses where you go in and they actually have pictures on the wall where celebrities came through to maybe get a haircut, or they come through to eat a meal at a soul food restaurant. Just think about that. Like when people come in and they see these pictures on the wall, think about how they feel and what it does for their business.
Mm.
That's
Yeah.
powerful, man. But I mean, we
Exactly.
need more of that. We actually need more of that. And I don't think it's always about spending money. It's about giving back time to these situations. Just showing up for your communities. I think that's huge. It ain't just about giving a handout, you know.
Well, today a lot of people
And I
into
think
their brand. It's their brand, not into a community. So it's like people want to protect their brand and do so many different things. So it's like you say, like you know, it's like Gurley. Gurley wasn't selfish. He wasn't selfish of what he did. He thought about others. Most people today is about themselves. They're not about helping others. He thought about others and he invested in others. He motivated others. He helped others. And he made a way to create people's dreams come true.
that is true. That's true. I think this has been a dope uh, topic. I think as a community, we need to look at certain things so we can get back to this, creating a thriving economic system by supporting each other's businesses. We need to take advantage of the opportunities of building wealth investing, not just investing in things outside our community, but investing in things in our community. I think that will go a long way in building our community back and creating a situation where we have something like Black Wall Street. We have so many dollars that go outside our community. How do we get back to keeping that money in our community? That's the thing that we need to look at. And we need to have more conversations like this, like the conversation we're having tonight. We need to get educated people, our people, together, professionals in each one of these areas: finance, real estate, uh, black owned businesses, sit down and have a town hall meeting and discuss how we can move forward. We shouldn't have to wait until something major happens. Like I said earlier, the DEI initiatives are going on, that it makes us think that we need to move as one. We should have been moving as one. We should have been coming together, put our differences aside. Because if you look at it as a whole, a lot of the reasons we don't get along are petty and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, the things that we don't like about a person, if you communicate with that person, you'll realize it's not that I didn't like that person. I didn't know that person.
Mm.
And that's the difference that we have now versus back in the day. Community was community. Where I grew up, if I walked out in my front yard, all the neighbors around me knew who I were, and I knew who they were. If something went down, they communicated. If Miss Gladys' house got broken into, the whole neighborhood communicated to try to figure out what happened. So we need to get back to this community. Um, and it's not hard. We got to stop talking about it and actually start doing something. And I do appreciate the movement that's going on right now. Trust me, I appreciate the movement that's going on right now with the different boycotts, us getting back to having pride about our black dollar. I appreciate that. But I just don't want it to stop here. I want to keep moving, and I want to build momentum, and I want to make something happen. Gentlemen, do y'all have any comments about that?
All right.
I would
Well,
like to say what you were building on with that. Just like you said, get back to where we were, invest in each other, respecting each other. That's one of the biggest things. Because like growing up, we respected each other and we listened to each other and we listened to our elders, those who had wisdom that was older than us, those who could see things that can point us in the right direction, so we didn't make the same mistakes. Today, a lot of people ain't trying to hear what you talk about. They fuss or fight. They disrespect you. The younger generation just cuss anybody else from your grandmama on down. It's like we might get back to just respecting each other and helping each other, man. It's like you ain't got but one life. This ain't, like I say, this ain't a video game. You ain't got three lives. You ain't got nine lives. I don't care if you want to be gangster. Once you get hit, that could be it. There ain't no rewind the tape, cut it off, and let's play, get another game going. Let me live again. No, it's over with. You got one life to make something out your life. And I think everybody up here want to leave a legacy or put a blueprint down for the future or for their family or for everything. I don't want to just, up here just talking. I'm really up here trying, because I'm from my heart. I want to help somebody. I don't care if it's just one person out of up here listening to me right now and get what I'm saying and just get in their mind. You know what? Tomorrow, I got some money. I'm gonna go out here and get some of these young cats who got a mind like me, and I'm gonna do something phenomenal, and I'm gonna build up a community, and I'm gonna help the kids get a recreation center and get up here and learn the trades again, how to work on cars and how to work on houses and how to go out here and garden and how to fish. But you teaching them something to survival, something that can help them in the long run. But this is what we need to get back to.
all right. Well, me, like I said, I think us coming together and doing what we're doing is a step for us to build amongst one another. Because like I always say, the whole goal is to be a bridge to the community so that whatever resources that everyone has, if someone has something that someone else may need, then hey, we can be that bridge to link one another, one of each of them together, so they can use whatever exchange, resources and things to help one another, because we just need to, like we've all been talking about earlier, just get back to that mentality of being a community and working together and doing things that help one another, and just say, hey, look, this is all about being connected. I mean, it's not about um, oh, what can I get out of this person? It's about, hey, I'm willing to give to help you, and everybody, thinking that same way, just to just come together and do something that is bigger than you as an individual. Now, just get out of the separatist. It's me all by myself, because no one is out here by themselves. I could attest that, because these my brothers here, and they have never left me out back. So I know that and they know that I won't leave them out back. So everybody got to think that mindset. Hey, we all here together. We one big happy family. You know what I'm saying? So just think about that.
Absolutely. And I think a great starting point is to rebuild our communities is something as simple as words of appreciation. Appreciating our people first starts with a good mindset. The thing is, we have so much negative to say that we don't think about saying something positive a lot of times. If you stop and just give a kind word, just uh, saying, you look nice today, or you're a beautiful person, or I appreciate you, or just saying that you made my day back, them saying good day or making a comment about how you dress or whatever the case may be, that can start a new relationship. It can start a new mindset within the community, because a person that judges you by the way you walk, by the way you talk, by the way you move, I guarantee you they don't know you as an individual. And we have to stop doing that. We have to start having conversations and stop judging. Um, I think that's a good starting place for building community back. Like I said earlier, get rid of that weapon we call jealousy, because that doesn't have a place in our community. We got too many other forces working against us, and we don't need that working against us also. Uh, I want to say I appreciate everybody for joining the show. This has been a powerful topic. O.W. Gurley, he was very instrumental in creating something, a model that we want to get back to in our community. With that being said, you know what I got to say. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Get established.
This has been the Get Established Show Live. Like I said, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. Alright, that's it. Peace out. Alright, I stop. We stop.